he was just like a face, you know, and it was the worst possible thing that could have happened to him, I think.
And Peggy Frampton.
He was an absolute shocker. He wouldn't sleep. We paced all night up and down, and we decided that he was training for the job he was going to do. He was going to sleep between about 2 and 6 in the morning, and the rest of the time he was going to stay awake and annoy us.
Peter grew up in a humble but happy household. Owen taught art at a local boys' high school, while Peggy did office work. At 5, Peter's reign as an only child ended with the arrival of younger brother Clive. That same year, Peter revealed his innate musical talent while watching a piano performance on television.
He kept on nudging my knee and saying, "Something wrong with the piano." And I said, "Well, I can't hear it." Owen couldn't either. So, "Ooh," he said, "something wrong with the piano." And afterwards, the announcer said, "I do apologise to those who could hear it, but a piece of sheet music fell across the strings of the piano." Times you get a little tired.
At 10, Peter formed his first band with some school friends called the Little Ravens. He also enjoyed jamming whenever possible, especially with one older classmate named David Jones, a musician destined for greatness as David Bowie.
We both had guitars and we played a lot of Elvis and Buddy Holly and Eddie Cochran and all that. And Peter used to come in and join us on guitar, and he was far better than either of us already. They became rock stars. I mean, they had singles in the charts. And it's Peter on the television. What's he doing on the television? Why isn't he in detention? Why isn't he in school? He just seems so awfully young to be doing what he did, and doing it very well indeed.
A musician named Steve Marriott.
Steve Marriott was irresistible. I mean, I knew Steve very well in the 60s, and he was just such a great guy, very enthusiastic. You always felt like things were great when you were with Steve. I mean, he was such an upper.
For the most part, lukewarm. Not so for one very special fan, Peter's childhood friend, David Bowie.
This was great. I was in Chicago, and he just said, "I love your new record." He said, I do guitar playing, you know. He said, "Can you come and do some of that for me?" And I said, "I thought you'd never ask."
And so what I was looking for, primarily, was a first-class guitar player that could really cover all the ground. And Peter was just at the top of my list.
Peter played on Bowie's 1987 album, Never Let Me Down, before joining him as his lead guitarist on a worldwide tour. Bowie's stature meant that Peter performed in front of enormous audiences, the kind of audiences he dazzled a decade earlier as a solo artist.
I guess I wanted to refocus people's attention on his guitar playing again, which had gotten kind of, you know, totally forgotten.
It was just great, and it was, I'll never be able to thank David enough for asking me to do that, because he knew, I think, much more than I did at the time, what a giant gift he was giving me by putting me back in front of the world.
Thank you. Peter Frampton on guitar.
So, a great big thank you.